This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis.
It's the Morning Majlis.
Talking the stories that are shaping headlines, plus those that make you go,
Hi everybody, good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Majlis, the show where we discuss the latest developments from Sharjah, from the Emirates, the region, and around the world. And I'm Ahmed Dawood with Abdul Karim Hanif and Rania Sadi, and we have a lot of stories to get through this morning. And one story we're looking forward to discussing is the prospect of the mass deployment of a coronavirus vaccine. When are we going to see this happen? Well, the World Health Organization has commented on the viability of this. They stated what their benchmark is for the efficacy of a vaccine in order for it to be rolled out en masse. And they also spoke about how far the current candidates, which are in stage 3 clinical trials, have gone. Whether we'd see a vaccine by the end of this year, next year, how long will it take? Stay tuned to find out.
Absolutely, Ahmed. And yesterday, we celebrated the International Day of Charity. It's an international day observed annually on September 5th. And in line with that, we're going to talk about the newest initiatives taken out by the UAE and Sharjah in line with Charity Day and humanitarian gestures, of course. Now, a few days ago, the UAE sent aid to Pakistan following heavy flooding, and their assistance actually helped around 75,000 people in the southern regions of Sindh. Now, on the other hand, Emirates Red Crescent sent aid to assist healthcare workers in Syria. 2 planes carrying medication, medical supplies, and equipment reached Damascus last week. And from Sharjah, we discussed last hour the Sharjah Charity International distributing 2020 meals to workers at the Sharjah municipality as part of their many projects that supports workers and values their contribution. But to discuss this further, we have more efforts that we're going to discuss, the latest efforts taken out by the UAE government. And also, Abdul Karim threw a question at us last hour about International Charity Day. What was it, Abdul Karim?
Majlis quiz.
There we go.
This is the Majlis quiz.
Pulse 95.
Yes, the big quiz of this morning. We're talking about the 5th of September. It was chosen in order to commemorate the anniversary of the passing away of a well-known individual who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 for the work undertaken in the struggle to overcome poverty and distress, which also constitute a threat to global peace. She became an Indian citizen in 1948, was born to Kosovan Albanian parents in a city which is now the capital city of Macedonia. And she was a well-known individual for her charitable work, and we are celebrating her life through the celebration or marking of the day of the International Day of Charity, which is a global action of solidarity to eradicate poverty. Who are we talking about? This individual who passed away in 1997 in Kolkata, where she spent nearly 4 decades tending to the poor. Which person are we talking about? Let us know on the text lines 4215, and we will give you a bit of a shout out if you know the answer. It is something to know and remember as you are all beginning your work week, to sharpen your brains and sharpen your thoughts as well. Let us know on the text lines 4215. We'll be right back after some musical entertainment, and then we'll continue the discussions right here on the Morning Majlis. Up next, we're talking about an alternative to WhatsApp. Something is being developed. What's happening? Join us on the Morning Majlis.
The Morning Majlis. Talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
Well, we are celebrating the International Day of Charity. It is observed annually on September 5th. Why on September 5th? Abdul Karim threw a quiz question at us that we're going to ask you again in just a few minutes. But let's go back talking about the International Day of Charity and what the UAE has been doing, what Sharjah has been doing as well. in celebrating this day and in demonstrating its humanitarian gestures, whether locally or internationally. Last hour, we talked about the Sharjah Charity International distributing 2020 meals to workers at the Sharjah municipality as part of or in line with the International Day of Charity. A few days ago, the UAE also sent an aid plane to Pakistan following heavy flooding that we also discussed last hour. And assistance will or helped 75,000 actually people in the southern regions of Sindh. Now, on the other hand, Emirates Red Crescent sent aid plane to assist healthcare workers in Syria as well. And those 2 aid planes actually were sent carrying medication, medical supplies, and equipment, reached Damascus last week and helped so many people as well. But the UAE's efforts are not limited to providing medical or relief aid during the pandemic. It's much more than that.
It is indeed. And the fact that the United Arab Emirates has stepped up its help or aid, particularly during the time of COVID-19, is noteworthy. And some of the campaigns that we've seen recently, we've had the Salam Beirut emergency aid campaign as well that provided relief for victims of the devastating explosion that struck Port Beirut. It was launched by Her Highness Sheikh Jawahir bint Mohammed Al Qasmi, wife of His Highness Dr. Sheikh Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasmi, member of the Supreme Council and ruler of Sharjah. She's the chairperson of the Big Heart Foundation. And with this drive, they restored more than 500 homes destroyed in the Beirut explosion. They assisted just under 3,000 victims, many of whom were refugees, and helped them return to their dwellings over the next 6 months as well. We've also seen the United Arab Emirates step up in terms of global cooperation, providing masks, protective equipment, and medicine to various countries suffering from shortages during the pandemic.
Yeah, United Arab Emirates has been at the forefront, really. Whenever there's been a tragic incident, a catastrophe, global issue, our aid planes have been there, especially during the COVID-19 scenario as well. We sent aid planes to Chile, Colombia recently as well. We sent aid planes to a number of countries. We were one of the first to send it to Italy. We even spoke to the Italian ambassador, or Italian consul general to the United Arab Emirates on the Morning Majlis. So you can catch those discussions that we've had with very notable personalities on our SoundCloud and Spotify accounts. That's where you can catch the podcast of the Morning Majlis discussions, and you can also catch a video podcast on our Pulse 95 Radio YouTube account. We're currently live, and all you have to do is search for us on YouTube, subscribe, share away, and do stay tuned to our live discussions for a visual experience of the Morning Majlis. We'll give you a little bit of a wave to welcome you on if you're tuning in.
The question?
Oh, you want the question? Rani gets straight to the point.
Yeah.
That's the most important aspect of the Majlis this morning. Is because I did not even know this fact, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had no clue. There we go. The question of the day, and shout out to a couple of people, Zia this morning, Suad this morning, and D. Gosh. Well, good morning, and thank you for tuning in, and appreciate the support and appreciate your response to our quiz question. We do have our multi-choice on our Instagram account as well. We're celebrating the life, or the International Day of Charity celebrates the life of one philanthropic individual who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979, born to Kosovan Albanian parents and born in now the capital city of Macedonia, spent 4 decades until her passing away in India, working on her charitable work, and has been known for fantastic quotes and all about eradicating poverty as well. And do let us know what her name is. Text lines remain open, 4215. It is her death anniversary was on the 5th of September, and this is why we celebrate the International Day of Charity. And as she's been saying, and quoted as saying, love begins at home. And it is not how much we do, but how much love we put in that action. Every time you smile at someone, it is an action of love, a gift to that person, and a beautiful thing. And that's what she said, all about charitable giving as well. She said, love is not patronizing, and charity isn't about piety. It is about love. Charity and love are the same. The charity give love, so don't just give money, but reach out your hand instead. So very, very popular lines as well. So do join us on the text lines 4215. We appreciate all your thoughts and messages as well. We'll be right back after the world of sports headlines, and then we'll give you a little bit of a fitness tip, courtesy of the Morning Majlis. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
Join the conversation with the Morning Majlis, Pulse 95.
Yes, we are discussing the prospect of mass deployment of a coronavirus vaccines, and we have a number of major contenders here currently in the late stages of their clinical trials, and it's got everybody excited, giddy, asking a lot of questions. When are we going to see those vaccines? When are they going to be deployed? And the World Health Organization has commented on this. Now, their spokesperson said over the weekend that we should not expect widespread vaccinations against COVID-19 until the middle of next year. The middle of next year. And she said none of the major candidates so far have demonstrated a, quote, clear signal of efficacy. The World Health Organization set the efficacy benchmark at 50%. Quote, we are really not expecting to see widespread vaccination until the middle of next year. This phase 3 must take longer because we need to see how truly protective the vaccine is, and we also need to see how safe it is. This referred to the phase in vaccine research where large clinical trials are being conducted among people. They did not refer to any specific candidates, however.
You're right, Ahmed, but I don't know where the Russian vaccine stands on this, because the much criticized Russian vaccine for the coronavirus was actually found to be safe, according to latest reports, and also triggered a strong immune response. They found that it did develop antibodies against the coronavirus, and that is according to results of phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials, but still in the absence of phase 3. Now, this vaccine is actually the first in the world to be authorized for general use. It was approved by the Russian government on August 11th without phase 3 trials. That's why it triggered global criticism. But phase 1 and phase 2 trials were completed in less than 2 months, and it now emerges, and it was done actually on 76 people. But somehow they're saying that it is effective. It's not. They didn't say it's effective. They said it's safe, and that it did show that it did with the participants. It showed that they developed antibodies against the coronavirus. And also, the published findings say that both vaccine formulations were safe and well tolerated. The participants did complain of some side effects, but these were not serious. The most common adverse effects were pain at the injection or high temperature in 50% of participants, headache, 42% of participants complained of headaches, lack of energy, 28% complained of that, and muscle and joint pain, 24% of participants complained of that. But most adverse events were mild, and no serious adverse events were actually detected according to the study. Now, the results show that the vaccine is at least safe to be used and it doesn't harm the person. However, the relatively small number of volunteers who participated and the short duration of follow-up, which is only 42 days, might not really satisfy all the experts.
It may not. And what's interesting, the Russian government vaccinated its healthcare workers on the front lines.
Yeah.
And this is a point here to make. We said that the World Health Organization spoke on the prospect of mass vaccinations, that is vaccinating almost an entire population.
Yeah.
But vulnerable groups are expected to be vaccinated by the end of this year. And that process is accelerated across the board, where vaccines will go to people who need them the most, including healthcare workers and those who are more vulnerable, such as the elderly and those with pre-existing conditions. So there's a fairly solid chance that by the end of this year, of the year 2020, we'll be seeing the deployment of those vaccines. Now, there are a number of logistical hurdles across the board, and a prolonged conversation would be had about the specifics from one country to another. But one thing to note here is that the World Health Organization said that it is working on ensuring that populations across the world, even those who cannot afford to get vaccines or deploy them on a mass scale, can get them, and they're doing this via fundraising. So it's pretty interesting to explore this. But yeah, a pretty important point here is that despite the fact that they said that mass deployment of vaccines would be by mid-2021, there's a fairly strong chance that by the end of 2020, those who need the vaccine the most will get it.
Yeah, and here in the United Arab Emirates, we are expecting the virus that we're working on, courtesy of Sinopharm, to be launched by the end of this year. In America, they're saying that they want it to be out and ready by the 1st of November. Talking about the inactivated vaccine, because the vaccine developed by the Chinese pharmaceutical giant Sinopharm China is the world's 6th largest vaccine manufacturer, and the vaccine that we're developing here is an inactivated vaccine. What is an inactivated vaccine? It's used to kill a virus to trigger an immune response in the human body. So we are administrating a already killed virus into your body, is it dangerous? There are no known risks of using a killed virus or an inactivated vaccine. The virus is grown in lab cultures under strict top biosecurity standards and then killed with heat radiation as well, and eliminates the virus's ability to trigger the disease. Already existing viruses that use the inactivated vaccine is for hepatitis A, which is helping to avoid you contracting polio as well. But staying tuned to Pulse 95, and a shout out to, or a little bit of a link to our podcasts. You can catch the discussion that we had with Ashish Koshi, who is the CEO and founder of G42 Healthcare, Abu Dhabi-based organization that has been collaborating with Sinopharm in doing the clinical trials. We'll play you a little bit of a clip to give you a promo of where you can and what you can expect from that conversation. And this is what we asked them during the interview. How does this vaccine being trialed in the United Arab Emirates work on a human body?
Sure. So vaccines typically, help develop immunity in individuals by sort of imitating an infection. So there are multiple ways in which one can imitate that immunity. The one that we're using here is one of the most safest mechanism because it's an inactivated virus. The other pharmas that you mentioned are doing on phase 3 trials are doing on other versions of.
When exactly we would see this roll out? So when do you think, do you have an idea as to when we could possibly see a coronavirus vaccine by Sinopharm?
Having seen the initial results, especially the phase 1 and phase 2 results, and the initial response from the 15,000 volunteers, we can definitely say by end of this year or by early Q1 of 2021, we will definitely have a potential vaccine.
How? Yep, exactly. So if you'd like to catch up with that discussion, text lines remain open, 4215, and you can catch that discussion on SoundCloud and Spotify and Apple Podcast. Search and subscribe for the Morning Majlis, and we'll be returning very, very shortly and talking about discounts. Who doesn't like a good discount? Well, let us know on the text lines 4215, and lots of people have been texting in with the responses for the quiz question this morning. Whose life are we celebrating with the 5th of September and the International Day of Charity? Let us know on the text lines 4215. Multi-choice is also available on our Instagram page, Pulse 95 Radio. We'll be right back.
Join the conversation with the Morning Majlis, Pulse 95.
Join the conversation on the Morning Majlis. Join the debate. Discounts or no discounts? If people are going out for dinner and they use a discount card / coupon, is it a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As an individual, you'll be thinking, oh, look at him. Oh, look at her, trying to be cheap.
No, I don't think
discounts.
so.
No?
Especially during this time, right?
Yeah,
exactly. So
There's nothing wrong with
people
that.
use 2-for-1s. People use Groupons and one
Yeah.
of those vouchers. Some people, like myself, use the perks that we get as government employees.
Fazza.
And Fazza card.
Yeah,
I did
me
use.
too.
I did use that over the weekend.
Me too.
And I turned up
Yeah.
to a place. They said we don't use Fazza anymore, and I was very upset, and I had to pay full price. I didn't mind it. But I was like, well, I could have paid a bit with a discount. Where was this information? But the idea is,
If it wasn't for Fuzz, I wouldn't have come.
Exactly.
That's probably what you said, right?
That's I just didn't argue. I was like, it's fine. Because it's okay. It's okay for certain restaurants to say, look, we want to operate at full price.
Yeah.
And it's very important. And one of my big tips that I'd like to pass on is over the weekend, and I'm still very upset I had pizza over the weekend. In fact, yesterday. Still haven't digested it.
Oh, no.
But
You did boxing before or after?
I still haven't done boxing.
Oh.
I did way before, but it's very upsetting. But yeah, I had pizza and I made sure that I ordered it not from a global brand, but from a local neighborhood eatery. Support your
Which is
local
even more-
restaurants.
Probably it's going to be more greasy.
No, it was good. That's
Oh, is
actually
it?
good. But
Okay.
the idea is support your local restaurants. They're suffering. You're suffering as well during the
Yeah.
pandemic situation.
Yeah.
Back them up, and that's your responsibility, and that's your charity as well. Speaking of International Day of Charity. But moving on, back to the real idea of the discussion. We're talking about the Wafir
Wafir.
program,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
has been launched by the Sharjah government for the Sharjah government employees. And it's a very popular service that we have. And lots of people have been commenting about it.
Yeah, lots of people have been talking about it. Indeed, Sharjah Islamic Bank has been collaborating with the Sharjah Directorate of Human Resources. They set up this virtual session to introduce the Wafir Discounts program. This session was conducted on Sharjah Islamic Bank's Instagram account and spoke about the various initiatives and incentives, including exclusive offers that are provided to those who are part of the Wafir Discounts program.
Yeah, and this session actually was moderated by Hassan Al-Balghouni, Head of Corporate Communication at SIB, Jawahir Saif Al-Oud, Director of the Events and Activities Office at Sharjah Directorate of Human Resources, and also Director of Wafir Program, along with Amin Al-Sahlawi, Head of Retail Support and Control at SIB. Actually, Amin Al-Sahlawi said that the offers and facilities offered by SIB allows customers to best utilize the services offered by the bank. And our goal has always been to serve the society and contribute towards its overall development. So the package offers several benefits to Wafir card beneficiaries, including the welcome bonus. It's available to customers when transferring their salaries to SIB, Sharjah Islamic Bank. So the bonus could range from 250 dirhams to 1,000 dirhams. It depends on the customer's salary, of course. So in addition to the personal finance options available, offering a profit rate of up to 2.89% annually. Now, with the flexibility in the first installment and also postponement of installments, along with car financing, with benefits or with profits starting from 2.79% and real estate rates starting from 1.79% plus 6 months EIBOR.
Well, we're speaking about the Wafir program, which is part of the Sharjah Human Resources Directorate, and it is also in support of the Sharjah Executive Council. We have heard from Jawahir Saif Al-Oud, who's the Director of Events and Community Activities, as well as the Program Director of the Wafir program. She says that now it is benefiting over 58,000 employees of Sharjah government.
Yeah.
Their aim is to increase this to about 65 to 70,000 employees of the Sharjah government, and has now 600 companies are part of this program, the Wafir program, and it can be used through the smart application as well as the website and Instagram account as well of the Wafir program. So the idea is that companies will be offering certain percentage of discounts and benefits to the user and the card holder as well. And it's really good because it offers them a marketing platform as well. So a lot of people think, chasing discounts, causing a bit of a loss to the company that is hosting you and giving you that discount. It's not. It's usually, it comes out of the marketing budget. It is also a platform where they can advertise their products and services to the holder of the card, and that's how it all works. As we prepare for the news headlines, stay tuned to Pulse 95, and yes, we leave you with this thought: support your local restaurants, support your local businesses, support the small and medium enterprises that are now recovering from the COVID-19 situation. Because
support is the word of the day.
Word of the day. It really is.
Comes in line with the
International Day of Charity. Yes. There we go. Yep. Support your local eateries. They're the very essence and backbone of our society. And it's very important that they continue to exist, because it is as troubling times it might be for you, it really equally is hard for them as well. And always extend your helping hand. And that is our message for the International Day of Charity. Stay tuned to Pulse 95. We'll be right back, and we'll return right after the news headlines.
Entertainment headlines.
Entertainment headlines.
Entertainment headlines.
This is
The Buzz.
This is The Buzz. And Mulan is the buzz in general anyway. I got a chance to catch it in the cinemas over the weekend.
You're like the first person. Every film that premieres, you go watch it.
Yes, why not? And
I envy you.
And it was actually a good film to catch. It was a very early morning show.
Yeah.
It was the team at Vox that invited me, and then I did go over at 11
treatment there.
11 a.m.
I know. I saw your snap.
I went right after the gym, and I went at 11 a.m. and it was great because you're already buzzing from all the adrenaline.
There were people there as well. I saw.
Yeah, it was an invited event. So obviously they brought in a lot of media, and they'd invited a lot of people to check out the film.
Yeah.
And the reason why they did it at 11 a.m. it was the first screening, and it was a very child-friendly film. And of course they brought them in. They brought the kids as well. So it was incredible to catch the very first film of Mulan. And Aisha Al-Mazmi and I had a conversation about the film yesterday. Okay, you can catch the discussion on Afternoon Karak at 4 p.m. for the authentic, proper review. And I'll give you a proper review in terms of someone who likes to do to pass the time, or chill, or sort of occupy yourself with doing something fun, which is cinema. Cinema's great. From watching the film. And the fact that it didn't have it, obviously they made sure, and they clearly said it's not going to be a musical, it's not going to be any songs. I liked that.
Okay.
I was like, stick to the plot, don't just wander off and start singing. It's not a Bollywood film,
How long was it? Like 2 hours?
Yeah, an hour and a half, yeah.
Okay.
When I watched Tenet, and everyone really is within our team at Pulse 95, and some of our listeners were
I
like...
did too.
You're like, why did you promote that film so much? I was like, well, I did. It was good. But sometimes it was very confusing. But Mulan, we knew what the story is.
Yeah.
Because obviously you watched the cartoon.
Right.
And I'm a sort of a person who watched Mulan and then was looking forward to another entertainment, another real life.
Is it a continuation or is it a remake?
It's a remake of the cartoon.
Okay.
They've kept certain scenes. They've kept a lot of the storyline. They've changed a few things to make it more realistic for a live action. The big character Moshu is missing. There's the Zazu of Mulan, you could say. He's not there. So people. I think watching the film, you didn't really miss him because he was replaced by the Phoenix.
So what's the final verdict here? You like the film more or the cartoon more?
Yeah, cartoon will definitely win it.
It will
sure.
win. But it's worth watching, right?
Critics quite like the movie. Overall, if you look at what the critics have been saying, it's somewhat positive for the most part. But when you talk to people, friends who've seen the film, people are quite divided on it. And I think one big reason for that is their relationship with the first film.
Yeah.
And they might feel like this new one doesn't live up to it, or doesn't match it in the same way, or doesn't have the same charm to it. One thing I've heard from a friend who'd seen the movie. They said in the first Mulan, you could see her facing all these obstacles and grow as a person and make tough choices before she became this amazing soldier. But in the new film, she was already a superhero from her
Right.
childhood, from the get-go. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting response. But do let us know. Hit us on the text lines, 4215, how you've responded to this film. Abdul Karim, you quite like it.
Yeah. For anything, actually, Disney's new live-action version of Mulan is now streaming on Disney Plus as well. But you'll need more than just a subscription to watch the highly anticipated film, because Mulan film is on Disney Plus right now. But you apparently have to pay an extra $30 on top of your new or existing subscription to watch it. Or if you don't want to pay the $30, you have to wait until December 4th to watch it for free to all Disney Plus subscribers. If you are not going to go to the film or the cinema just yet.
If you're not going to go to the cinema, of course. But Aisha Al-Mazmi sent me multiple voice notes yesterday explaining why she didn't like the film. So let's play one of them. I'll play from my phone.
God.
I'm pretty sure everyone's going to not like me for using a phone to broadcast Aisha Al-Mazmi's voice notes.
Nothing, honestly.
No, you can't hear it. That's what wonderful phones are for. But no, talking about my review of the film, I was quite impressed. Firstly, about inclusivity. The fact that they actually hired Chinese actors.
Yeah.
They got a chance to be on the big screen that everyone's going to watch. So, yes, there might be actors with different accents. You had the mother playing, having an English accent, the dad having an American accent, but they're ethnically Chinese. So giving them a massive platform, such as Mulan, which everyone's going to watch anyway, great. Good for inclusivity. Second, I was more expecting more of a Game of Thrones style of like violence, but it wasn't. Of course, it's a kids' movie. Can't expect that. So I was quite impressed how a particular soldier can take on the other one by hitting them on the head with a stick. Great, well done, great action. That was good. So it was very child-friendly, family-friendly film. Third, I was quite impressed with the music. I think the whole time when they played the soundtrack along with the film, it was incredible, and it really was something very powerful for that film. So there was no musical, so you kind of face that anyway, and it was very realistic, you could say, because obviously if they tried to play Moshu in it, which was the character, was the sidekick of Mulan, it would have been like Lion King, where you have these animals talking. And with Lion King, I loved it, but a lot of people didn't like it because obviously it had animals just talking, having a conversation. Just didn't seem right. It didn't hit you there. What Aisha Al-Mazmi says in her review, you'll hear that later on in Afternoon Karak, is she's like she couldn't connect with Mulan as a character.
Is that something you felt as well? The characters, did they resonate with you on an emotional level, or did you feel? Because a lot of people are complaining, saying the characters were bland, there was a lack of charm, the characters were not developed properly. Was that something you felt at all?
No.
I don't feel Abdul Karim is that deep. Let's just agree on that. All right.
I just watched the film.
He just wants to be the first person to watch any film. That's it.
Well, it did it for the gram. You could.
That's it. That's it.
Probably.
That's what it is for you. I know.
Probably. It was a great film to watch. Let's say 11 a.m. What else am I going to be doing on a Friday morning? Just finished my gym, finished my workout, bit of popcorn, and watch the film.
Just laid back,
There you go.
chilling.
That's it.
Yeah, it was good.
So this question should go to Aisha Al-Mazmi.
All right, I'll ask Aisha Al-Mazmi.
Yeah, you can definitely ask that. But after Karak, 4 p.m. today. We'll be right back after a bit of a short musical entertainment. It's a little bit of a reflection. Put you in a Milan spirit. Here's Christina Aguilera with Reflection.
Pulse 95. You're listening to Pulse 95. Pulse 95.
It's Pulse 95.